Ciao a tutti, it's Aram, and I finally did it. I topped with Go-Go-Go's. I found a good Go-Go-Go deck list, finally made it, and yeah, brought it and I topped. Now, the conditions of the top are a bit wonky because I went 3-3 basically because it was a 30-player tournament with a top 8, which is kind of weird, but whatever, let's not fret the details. And yeah, it's 46 cards. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe for every subscriber. Mount Sylvania will get added by Ancient Fairy Dragon. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna quickly go over the list and then show some replay. But first, let me just show you the top cut. We had a lot of combo. We had Lightsworn Ruler, Infernities, Sylvans, and Go-Go-Go's in the top 8, which probably has something to do with the small the small player size. But there was a lot of Geargia, so that helped too because Geargia kind of has a bad matchup versus combo decks in general. And they were kind of overrepresented compared to in general. There was only two Artifact Fabrics players, and uh, yeah, and two and one Mermel. So yeah, it makes sense that so many combo decks stopped. But yeah, Go goes. So we are running 3 copies of Giant, 2 copies of Ghost, and 2 copies of Golem. And I'm gonna get explain what these do when I get to the replays. Then 2 Busters, 3 copies of Mizuki, 3 Ridens, 3 Ravel Golems, a triple Wolf, 1 Zombie Master, and 2 Summoner Monks. And then for spells, we're running triple Onomatopoeia, triple Solar Recharge, 1 Charge of the Light Brigade, 1 Foolish, 1 Rota, triple Soul Charge, of course, and triple Forbidden Lance. And then for traps, we're running triple Needlebug's Nest, kind of best trap in the deck, 2 Breakthrough Skills, 1 Call of the Haunted, and 1 Phoenix with Wind Blast. Uh, in terms of what I change, I'll get into it later. Extra deck triple level chain. If I could play 4, I probably would. Double Exiton, then 101 Dweller, Rhapsody, Black Ship, usual stuff. Then I was running 1 Heartland Draco and 1 Diamond Direwolf. And for some more weird, unconventional picks, we had Bujinki Amaterasu, Evils from Ouroboros, and Gem Knight Pearl. um, Yeah. Then one Starless Dragon because I have Raiden, so I can make synchros. And then for side deck, triple Max C, triple DD Crow, triple MST, Mind Control, Breakthrough Skill, second Phoenix Wind Blast, and triple DNA Surgeries. So, um, uh, first off, let's get into game versus Chewbacca was on Mythic Rulers. So, let me explain. What do the Go-Go-Go's do? They're giant and golem are rocks. That's not too important in this deck. What's important is that Ghost is a zombie, and golem is a beater with some protection. Doesn't really matter what he does. Giant, whenever he is a 2000 beater, that is kind of like goblin attack first. But if you normal summon him, you can also put him in defense position and summon back Go from the graveyard. And Ghost says that hard once per turn when it's special summoned, you get to bring back a Golem from the graveyard. So what the combo is, you summon out the ghost from the graveyard, and then you summon back Golem, and you have a free rank 4. What cards do you use to summon the ghost? Well, triple Giant and triple Mizuki and 1 Zombie Master. Zombie Master is pretty great because in this deck you usually end up with a lot of monsters in your hand, at least 2 or 3 in your hand by the time you get set up. So you have discard fodder, and unlike Blue Blooded Oni, it summons. It's an 1800 beater that summons monsters in attack, so you can push for a lot of damage, which this deck definitely needs. Then we're running 2 copies of Dodo the Buster because he's the extender of the deck. Basically, he's a Cyber Dragon, but he turns into a level 4 when he's summoned, and it's 1900. And we're running him because we are running 3 copies of Onomatopoeia, which when it's basically you discard a card to add to up to two different monsters of uh, the XL archetypes. I don't know how to call them, but basically you add the Go 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 monster, and then if you still have Dodo Busters in deck, you can add also the Dodo Busters. And it's hard once per turn though, so keep that in mind. Then we're running double Summoner Monk, which is kind of cuttable. Um, I've played around with Core Bandit, I've played around with Summoner Monk, and frankly, I'm not sure either is particularly necessary. But it's still a pretty good card. But if I were to cut it, which probably will, I would definitely add Delilah to up the solar recharge count. And speaking of Lightsworns, we're running triple Rider and triple Wolf, and also triple Revival Golem. I think I would cut back Revival Golem to two. This deck doesn't mill that much that you need triple Revival Golem, but hitting it is very strong, and drawing it is not too bad because it's still a monster to discard of Zombie Master. And same with Wolf. Drawing it is not too bad because of Zombie Master and Solar Recharge, obviously. But Solar Recharge is such a strong card that definitely worth playing three of, even if it can break. Um, but yeah, that's in terms of other monsters I will consider. There's Curry Bandit, Milmore. There's Lila again. Go 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 Gigas is an interesting card. It's basically when if it's in graveyard, if you summon a Go 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 monster, you can special summon it back, but then you lose out on the battle phase this turn, which is not very relevant when you're soul charging. But when you're soul charging, the extra body isn't that relevant either way, so it doesn't really matter. But when you're not soul charging, then Gigas is great, but then you lose on the battle phase, so that sucks. So it seems kind of situational to me. Zephyros is also kind of weird because you mail it, you can mail it, it's great. You can even discard it, which that's better than Wolf and Revival Golem. But then you don't really have a great target to bring back. So, the best target would be like Zombie Master and Google Giant. Besides that, nothing really great to bring back. Um, and yeah, that's oh, there's also Blue Blooded Oni and some more Rota targets like Armageddon Knight to dump, Zombie Master and Ghost. Or there's also Photon Trasher or Goblinberg, but they conflict with Go 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 with Doto the Buster. So I don't know, not the most necessary cards, but might be good. But the reason I don't really like Kageto Kage in this deck, and even Mask Chameleon, which is live in this deck because Giant and Ghost are both zero defense monsters. But I don't really like them because you're already trying to spam out Lovable Chain to set up the graveyard. The reason why we want to mill is because we there are so many cards that we want in the graveyard that just Lovable Chain isn't enough. So you need to read the Mathematician or um, and other like targeted mills like Armageddon Knight or Rock Bombardment, or you want to you know spam out Lovable Chain, so you don't really have room to spam out King of the Feral Imps to get out Kage Tokage because then you go normal summon Kage Tokage and then what? Lovable Chain again. You don't really. It's kind of just like putting all of your eggs in one basket to the rank 4 pool, and you don't have that much access to the rank 4 pool in the first place. I would rather just focus on making a Lovable Chain and in pretty much every situation unless I need to, and in that way I can just kind of focus on that. Um, besides that, for spells, there's nothing I will really change. Triple onomatopoeia, triple recharge, triple soul charge, um, triple forbidden lance, pretty mandatory in this deck. Frankly, I wish I had more copies. And the one-offs Rota, Foolish, and Church of the Light Brigade, all great cards. And then for the chop lineup, there's triple needle bugs. That's mandatory. Double breakthrough skill. I don't really see why I will change that. The Call of the Hunted and the Phoenix Swimming Blast were tested. Call of the Hunted I already kind of tested, but I didn't like in practice as much as I liked it in theory. But still wanted to test it. That yeah, it wasn't great, so I'm gonna cut it. Meanwhile, Phoenix Swimming Blast did very well. I definitely would bump it up to 2 now. But this game versus Seer was like really good, and I should have probably put it later because I got I got big eyed into it was from Ouroboros and all fucking Lightsworn shenanigans. Uh, anyways, this is the top 8 match versus extra power on Geargias, and I lost here. But anyways, going over to the extra deck, triple level chain, very mandatory in this deck. Double Exiton, very easy to summon out because this deck just summons the rank force from the graveyard, so you're usually behind a card advantage by the time by the time your turn starts at least. And yeah, then 1/1 Rhapsody, Dweller, Black Sheep, nothing really to discuss besides the fact that I'm only playing one uh, Dweller because I pretty much under almost any circumstance I would rather make a level chain and over Dweller on turn one, even against Mermal, frankly. Setting up the graveyard is way too important in this deck. Unless your hand is already great, then Dweller is good. But if your hand is already great, you don't need the second Dweller anyway. And then 1/1/1 because I'm playing Ouroboros, and Ouroboros is main niche is kind of like this deck. If you the rank 4 pool lacks OTK tools, but if you have triple level chain or Zombie Master and Ghost, you want something with 2600 or at least to close out the game, and that's also why I ran Gem Knight Pearl for the most part. That and yes, it's pretty good into finish, but yeah, I don't think I will play Gem Knight Pearl again. But Ouroboros' other niche application is like it's a Draco Sack out. That's pretty cool. But there's something to consider about the speed of how much you detach. Because in this deck you really want to detach more, which is another reason why Judgment Pearl was not great. It came up, but I don't think I would run it again. I would probably run either Crazy Box for Skill Drain or Gagagigo the Reason for Felgrand, which yes, that is an option, but they both suffer from the fact that they don't detach materials, but at least they do more usually, so kinda worth it. And then you have Diamond Arrow Wolf, which pretty you go into it quite often in this deck, I think. I don't remember how often I went to it this tournament, but just getting rid of one card is pretty good, and getting rid of both materials too, that's great. And Heartland Draco, just having access to go for game at 2k life points or even 32 3.2k with Rhapsody in Berserk. That's great. And then the final extra slot, which I'm surprised I didn't think about it immediately. But Bujinki Amaterasu is a fucking amazing card. You just add back Mezuki, and then you add another Mezuki to the hand. You special summon one, then you add back one, and then you special summon another. That's just amazing. And speaking on how I came up with the deck, actually, I was on the shitter a day not a day, an hour before I went to Turin for small locals, and I had this eureka moment, and I built it, and I went to the locals, and I won it. It was a 6-man locals, but Emilian Ten was there, and he was playing Geargia hands, and I beat him, and I beat another Geargia player, and I beat also Mythic rulers. So that was pretty cool. Also, shoutouts to Raminator or Ramen Noodles CG on YouTube. I went on his stream and beat his ass with Gogogos, and his reactions was priceless. I gotta tell you. Um, but yeah, in terms of the side deck, triple Maxi and triple Crow, pretty standard, but uh, frankly, versus like Mythic rulers at least, I feel like I would rather just side in the MSTs because I really only die by their back rows. I don't really care about their monsters too much. I can beat them, but skill drain, Phoenix Swimming Bust, pretty fucking strong. Um, then mind control, breaker skill, very standard. DNA surgery, didn't come up this tournament, but very strong versus Woojins and spellbooks, which are not great matchups. The rank 4 pool isn't very strong versus Yamato Pass. So, actually thinking about that, makes me want to maybe consider a Colossal Fighter for Bujins. But speaking of, yeah, Stardust Dragon, forgot to mention it. Great into artifacts. Just so, yeah, that's why I'm running it. Um, Frankly, I feel like there's an argument for siding extra deck monsters. Like Colossal Fighter or Ragna Zero, for like Great Keepers, which seems like a pretty fucking hard matchup. But if you can get rank 4 out, and I can summon Ragna Zero under Necro Valley, then that might be able to swing the game back in my favor. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Uh, maybe Exiton is enough. Um, I would if I don't main Lila again, though, I would definitely side it. Uh, Pretty strong card, general, and I kind of want to have some more copies of Lance. I don't know how exactly, but Lance is pretty great, and I want my accident to resolve. So I don't know. Maybe Book of Moon. Maybe I don't know. Um, yeah, yeah. Here is kind of how the deck combos. Though here I'm playing versus Ghostricks, which are pretty annoying, but I feel like the game ended pretty in a pretty cool way. I'm just gonna play it out and start commenting on it. Yeah, he has Ghost Tricks. He has rank 4 access. I'm kind of screwed. Uh, the Royal Golem isn't helping too much, which is also why I'm considering cutting it back to 2. It's not great to draw. It's not bad, but it's not great. There's no real bad cards to draw in this deck because Zombie Master. If you get going, then any card is fine. But Royal Golem doesn't help you start, so it's not the best. Um, yeah, here also no way to win here. But yeah, solo recharge, might break, but it's just incredible. So here I go for, I don't, have the ghost, so I just try to go for normal summon ghost, and I don't really see why he went for a warning. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to play Call of Dante is because Ghost is a hard one per turn, but if I Call of Dante it during the opponent's turn, then it kind of gets around that. Um, but yeah. Oh, another card that is interesting in this deck that I would maybe consider running is Jewels of the Valiant. When I go for Mizuki, it pushes an on Earth monster, but it's kind of niche. I would need to run another monster that vanishes itself from the graveyard to really make that worth it. And I don't really need rank freeze for like Parent Dark Clown shenanigans. So yeah. Um, So yeah, that's it from me. Leave a like, join the Discord, subscribe, ring the bell, follow me on Twitter, all that good shit, and goodbye.